Okay, so anybody else struggling with this homeschooling stuff? I'm going to put together a short video here. If you're using an iPhone or an iPad, this video is for you. And if you are using Microsoft Teams, this video is for you. This is how I've gone about uploading and scanning everything in. So bear with me. We're all learning this together. However, it is a bit of a clumsy process, and I apologize for my shagginess, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all looking the same these days. So I'm going to flip the camera off, and I'm going to switch over to a screen view. Just bear with me. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen now. I'm using my iPhone to do the scanning part of the documents. And I'm using the iPad for Microsoft Teams. You can also use a computer. However, the way I'm doing this, I'm using the iCloud for my scans. So when the scan gets saved in the Notes app, it uploads it to my iCloud. Okay, so you have to have the iCloud turned on. And it will automatically, and you have to have scans clicked off in your iCloud that you want anything in the Notes app to go through into iCloud. Then you have to have that turned on. Then what I do is I actually save it right on to my iPad, and I'll show you that process after. I use my iPhone just because it's a little bit clearer. It's got a better camera on it. I could certainly use the iPad to scan this document though. So I'm going to go into the Notes app, which is this one here. It's the white one with the little yellow bar across the top. As you can see, I've got a few notes in here already, but I'm going to start a new one. So we click the little square in the bottom with the pencil, and it brings this up. Now, what you want to do here is you want to click on the camera, okay? So we click on the camera, and we get a notification here saying scan documents, take a photo, or photo library. In this case here, we want to click on scan documents. What this will do is it will now act like a scanner. Okay? When you see the yellow box over top, if you hold it steady enough, it will eventually scan that document for you. Okay? Now we can crop this if we do this, and we can pinch the corners in and move them around wherever we want to. But this will now save as a PDF file once we click on done here. Okay, I'm all done with this. I've done all the editing I want to do, so I click on done. Okay, and now I'm going to click on save. And when I click on save, up at the very, very top, I click on scan documents, and I can change the name of it. So I'm going to change this to my son's name and what it was, which was multiply in columns. Oops, you gotta be able to spell, I guess. Holy cow. Multiply in columns. One, now you can call it whatever you want, but I'm just doing this so that when the teacher sees this, they know what assignment this is. So I'm going to save this now. Okay. So now if I have other documents for this, which I do, I'm going to say done. And I'm going to click on, because if I only had that one page, that would be fine. We'd send that off by clicking the little square with the arrow up in the top right. And then it would open up and ask you to save it and all that, which I'll show you that process in a second. I've got multiple pages. So we're going to pull up the camera again. So click on the camera, and we're going to say scan documents. And we're going to position this page and hold it still. If it doesn't take it, you can click on the little camera button and it will take a picture. And now that is good. I can say keep the scan. I'm just going to drag that corner and keep that scan. Now we're going to scan again. The next page. Okay, I'm going to click the little button. Oh, didn't really take a very good photo there, so that's a perfect example. I moved when I took it. I'm going to say retake. I hold it very still. Click the button. There, that's much better. I'm just going to drag that over. And I'm going to say keep scan. Okay, and then we got one more page here to go for this one. So we're going to scan that one. Okay, that one we got to drag the corners in. You can hear a crazy dog in the background. Don't know about anybody else's family, but I think everybody's is crazy right now. We're going to say keep scan. And now we're all done. Okay. So we're going to save that. And I'm going to save that as Ryan Beach. Oops. Multiply in common and columns. Holy, thumbs and fingers are too big. There we go. Worksheet. Save that. Okay, so now I can take that and I'm going to send it to the iCloud. So to do that, I'm going to click on the box with the arrow up in the top right. Now when I click that, it opens up this. Now what I want to do here is I just want to go save to files. Okay, it's in my iCloud drive. Now, in my iCloud drive, I don't currently have a folder, okay, with my kid's name on it. So I'm going to click on the little file folder with the plus up at the top right. And I'm going to type in Ryan Beach grade 4 and say done. Okay, oops, I haven't got it where I want it, but that's not a big deal. I should have put it in the root folder by clicking on iCloud Drive. So let's click there, and now let's do that. Ryan Beach grade 4, say done. Okay, so now Ryan has his own folder in here. Okay, and we're going to say save now up in the top right. And that's going to save that document into there. So that's good. So we're done with that one. So now we click done. We're going to open this one again. And we're going to click the little square with the arrow. And we're going to say save to files again. And again, we're going to select the Ryan Beach grade 4 folder. And we're going to save it in there. Now that's saved. And it's in our iCloud. Now it's going to take a couple minutes for that to upload, especially right now. Everybody's internet, I'm sure, is a little bit slower because everybody's home. But that'll upload. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up on my iPad. Now you could do this all on the iPhone, or you can do it all on the iPad, whichever you want to do. I just find the phone is easier for taking the initial scan. So we'll flip over to the iPad and we'll be right back. All right, so now we're on the iPad. And first and foremost, what you have to do, if you don't have Microsoft Teams, you need to go to the App Store and you need to select or search for Microsoft Teams. So I've already got it downloaded, so that's why it says open, but you would click on the get button, okay, and you would download it. When you download it, it will then look like this over on the bottom right, the two little purple people with the letter T. You click on that and it will bring up your basically your login page. Okay, now I'm going to do this, and I don't know if I've saved this yet or not. No. Okay. So you have to put your password in. First you have to put your child's email address in, and then you have to put your password in. And I'm just going to pause this while I do that. Okay, so we are back. I've got my son's password in, and I'm going to click on sign in. Now when you come in, it's going to open up your child's grade or whatever the teacher's put in for the child. And in this case, this teacher is using assignments, which is actually a little bit easier. I'll show you an example of when they're not using the assignment part as to what it looks like. But I'm going to click on the top left, the three little bars. Oops, sorry, that's not where I wanted to go. I'm going to click on Teams down at the bottom. The three little people there, it says Teams. In this case here, I'm going to go to Numeracy grade 4 because that's what we were working on. And you see at the top, we've got posts, files, and then more. So we're going to go to the files, more. Let's go to more. Okay, nothing there. Let's go here. Okay, if you click on files, you'll see that your child, the files down at the bottom right, your child has a OneDrive folder, which is basically like iCloud, only it's the Microsoft version. So this is where we're actually going to be putting that information in. We're going to go back though. So I've got assignments here for our oldest boy. So multiplication of whole numbers, that was the assignment that I uploaded. We're going to click on View Assignment. And when you do that, it should pull up the actual assignment that was to be completed. So you can see here, this is what the teacher has written and has given us all the information that we need at the bottom. Now, when I want to add my work back, at the bottom I click on Add Work, where the little plus sign and Add Work is, and it's going to pull up that OneDrive location. At the bottom though, I'm going to click on Upload from this device down on the bottom left. And on the iPad or an iPhone, it will give you this window here. And in this window we have Browse. So we're going to go and look for that file. Now, if it doesn't take you to where it should, okay, let's say you end up with this screen, you're going to click on iCloud Drive, and you're going to go and find the folder that you created for your child in the iCloud Drive, okay, which we did when we were scanning. And now I have my two sheets that I scanned, okay. So we're going to select this second one, Ryan Beach Multiply, and it's going to upload that into Microsoft Teams in the OneDrive section. And I'm going to say Done. And then I'm going to say Add Work again. And I'm going to say Upload from this device. And click Browse. And click on the worksheet one. And it's going to upload that. And now it's uploaded, so I can click on Done. Okay. And so now you see we have the two files sitting right here at the bottom left, okay, right above where it says Add Work under My Work. All right, and now we're going to click on Turn In up at the very top right. And so what that should do is that should send that to the teacher. And now you see undo, turn in. And that's it. That is how we upload our child's work and turn it in if the teacher is using assignments. If the teacher is not using assignments, that'll be the next video. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, but this is if you are using assignments and you can add your work, then this is how you turn it into the teacher. All right, so we're back. Now this is this video is if you have a student who, or a teacher, sorry, that may not be using assignments, or let's say you just wanted to send a nice letter to your teacher or something. This is a way you could go about doing that. So we're going to click on the Teams app on the bottom right here, and we're going to go into Teams. And when we go into my youngest son's Teams, there is an assignment in here, but there was assignments earlier in the week, but they weren't actually in the assignment section. So even though there's work that he was to submit, we have to do a little bit of a workaround to submit it. So the way we do that is we click on this general one here on the top left, and we've got posts, files, and more. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on more, and actually before we do that, we're going to go to files. So these were the class materials, okay, that we were able to go in and download. Oh, they're not in there now. Okay. Oh, that's because they're over in here. Numeracy grade 1. Okay. So there was our files. So we clicked on files, and we went into student math work, okay. Each one of these were sort of assignments that we were doing. So I had my youngest boy write stuff out, okay. So we drew this number chart, colored it the way we were supposed to, and then I had him count by 2s, 5s, and 100s, like the assignment asked. But then I also had him write them, just so he could get it into his head how to count by 2s and get used to writing numbers a little more. Now, I have already gone and scanned that assignment, and you've seen previously in this video how to do the scanning. But in this case, it's going to be a little bit different. So what we're going to do now is on the bottom right, because we're not using assignments on this one, on the bottom right you see this Files button down beside Calls and More. We're going to click on Files, okay? And I spoke earlier about every student having a OneDrive folder. So every student has a Microsoft OneDrive folder attached to their email. So I'm going to click on OneDrive on the top left. And you can see I've already created 2 folders in here. But I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to go Add, just to show you how to add a folder. So Add on the bottom left. And we're going to say New Folder. And we click on New Folder. And he's in French Immersion, so I'm going to call this one French Immersion. And click Create. Now remember, this is a storage system. This is like iCloud or Google Drive or Dropbox. This is Microsoft's version called OneDrive. Okay, so you can access this from any phone, any tablet, any computer, as long as you have the email and the password for the child. Okay. Now, that's how you click a folder. Now, to add something into the folder, all you do is click on the folder, and you can see I've already added the 2 scans that I had yesterday that I already uploaded into my iCloud, and I've already put them in here. But the way we would go about doing that is on the bottom left, we would click on Add again, and we would say Files this time. Okay, and I'm going to go back up at the top left where it said Back, and I'm going to browse my iCloud drive. And in this case here, I'm going to look for my other son's folder, which is this one here, J-Speech School. And I've got literacy and numeracy. I haven't created one in here yet for French immersion, but I could easily do that. If you press and hold on the screen, so basically a long press, I can say new folder here, and I can create a French immersion folder while I'm in here. Okay, just so that everything kind of lines up in my iCloud and on the OneDrive. It just makes it a lot simpler down the road if everything is the same. It might also be my OCD, but whatever. In this case, it works. Now I'm going to go into numeracy, though. So numeracy was what we were into. Okay, and I've got various texts in here. So I can click on, let's say we go on to text. I'm going to click on it, and you'll see as soon as I click on it, it uploads it into his Microsoft OneDrive. Okay. Now, once these files are in here, I can then click on it. Okay, let's say J-Speech Grade 1 Numeracy. I want to send that to the teacher. So I can click on that, and it opens it. So this is the work we did. Okay, this is everything he wrote out. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to send that to the teacher. Now, Microsoft OneNote is a program that is part of Microsoft Office, and I would highly recommend downloading it because it actually allows you to, there's a section in here that actually has notes. So we're going to go over and we're going to choose OneNote. Now, before I get too far into that, if you don't have Microsoft OneNote on your iPad or your iPhone, let's just go back a step. Let's go back to the App Store, and we can download Microsoft, if we spell it correctly, OneNote. Okay. It's going to pull up Microsoft OneNote here on the top right. I've already got it downloaded. You could just click on Get, and it'll download it. Once it's downloaded, you don't have to do anything with it. Once you're into the Teams app and you're logged in, it will automatically connect to that OneNote. OneNote is like a file storage / Microsoft Word with different tabs. It's almost like opening up a binder, a school binder with different, social studies, math, reading tabs, so to speak. But what we're going to do in this case here is we are just going to click on this box on the top right with the square and the arrow, and it's going to ask me what I want to open it in. And I'm going to slide over until I see OneNote. I click on OneNote, okay, and at the top I've got location. So I want to go in and I want to choose my child's name. Okay, so each one of your children should have access to this. Okay, it should have been created for them so that they can see different notes in here for the teacher that the teacher has put in. I'm going to click on homework in this case. Okay, so now in the location I've got grade 1 St. John Bosco homework. All right, it's a PDF document. I've got my title there. I can add a note, but you don't have to. But I'm going to say Jace wrote out his counting by twos, by fives, and by tens. Oops. Okay. And now I can click off the keyboard. It's a PDF document. Perfect. Now I can click on send. And that will load that into your child's own personal notebook. Nobody else can see this, but the teacher has access to every child's notebook. So you can put that in there. The teacher should be getting a notification that this has now been put in there and should be able to go in and access it. So that's what we have to do if it's not an assignment and you want to upload it, or if you just even wanted to send your teacher a note and ask them how they're doing. You can type the note out or handwrite it and scan it and send it off to them through doing this. Hopefully this has helped. Hopefully I haven't confused you even more. If you already have your own system, great. This is just the system that I came up with after muddling through and trying to figure out Microsoft Teams, having never used it. I have used Microsoft OneNote extensively, and I've used Microsoft OneDrive extensively. So it was just learning how to manipulate everything to make it work to my liking. So hopefully this has helped. Any questions, feel free to comment, and I'll try to answer them for you.